What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm answering more of your questions that you guys dropped in the comment section and left me in the Discord while I was on vacation. And today we're going to get to Dean's questions. Dean has two questions that we're going to answer, and the first one is, should I get 10 10k accounts or should I get one 100k account? I believe the best way to answer this is in two ways. One in terms of budget, let's say, and then the other one is in terms of psychology. And we're going to start with the psychological question. So here's how I would approach this. When it comes to trading multiple smaller accounts versus one large one, it's just easier on your psychology. In the future space, this is a well-known thing, right? We trade, let's say, three 50k accounts instead of one 150k account, because trading those three accounts, if I make $500 on that one account, it doesn't seem like much, but it's across three, right? And so when you're taking the risk of risking 100, 200, whatever the case is, it's not impacting you as much as if you had to take on a 150k account, you had to risk a little bit more, right? So let me give you some numbers. On a 150k account, you got to make 9k before you pass your combine. On a 50k account, you got to just make 3k. So the threshold is a lot smaller, and your profit to drawdown target ratio is also smaller. For example, you get 2k of overall drawdown and a 3k profit target. Whereas with the 150k account, you get a 9k profit target and a 4,500 overall drawdown. So basically, you have to make double your drawdown for the 150k account, whereas with the 50k account, you don't have to make as much. So this gives you more room and also gives you a better psychological state, depending on who you are. Some people might watch this and say, oh no, I like 150k, it don't matter to me. No problem. I would say when it comes to psychology, a lot of people appreciate the fact that trading three of those accounts does make it easier in psychology, and when you do win, it's also by three. So it's just kind of best of both worlds. Where it becomes a little bit of a downside, or where the downside kind of comes into play, is how much you pay after you pass your combine. So everybody knows that with Top Step, for example, your activation fee is $149. Let's just call it $150. So if you pay $50 a month for your combine, and then you pay $150 when you pass, if you pass those accounts in 1 month, then essentially for every account you paid $50 for 1 month, and then another $150 for activation. That's $200 per account. So now you're paying $600 in total for those three accounts. Whereas if you just bought one 150k account from Top Step, then essentially you only pay $300, because it's $150 for the activation fee and then another $150 for the combine. So that's the only downside to it. But again, you're talking about what's better for you, and I think what will help your performance is the one that helps you psychologically, which is a smaller account but better performance. All right, so that's how I would answer that. Now let's talk about budget. All right, which one makes more sense? So we're gonna now tackle this from the forex side, because it would be more applicable to the forex side. So with the forex side, for example, if it costs you, let's say $50, right, for a 10k account, and then it costs you $400 for a 100k account, and then $50 per 10k account, then essentially you do 5 by 10, that's 500, and you would be basically saving money buying a 100k account, just like in the future space. But where I argue that it still makes more sense is you get more opportunities to pass your challenges. For example, instead of taking all 10 of them and putting them on a trade copier, you can trade maybe 2 or 3 at a time, giving you 3 chances to pass, or if you did even 5 at a time, you get 2. And so now you can spread your risk and the money, right? In a sense where now you're managing your risk as in terms of how much you're putting overall on the table and how much you're getting out. Now, if you have 6 chances, 3 chances, 4 chances, 2 chances to pass as opposed to 1, then what that means is that you can pass some evals, start getting money, and then use the rest to, start doing other things. And so I still feel like it might be a little bit beneficial there. Where it doesn't really make sense is if none of these things matter to you, in the sense of like 100k doesn't mean anything. That $400, $500, you're looking at it like, I'd rather pass 4, take 5 of those, fail 2 or 3, get 2 to pass, and I'm good, right? Some people might look at it in that sense and say, when it comes to the account, the potential of the risk reward is still better for me, so I'm good, and the numbers don't affect me because I trade based on this, that, or the third. That's where I feel like that would help. There's one last thing I want to mention, because I have to mention this to you guys. I spoke to some prop firm owners, and there's a statistic for the pass rate for smaller accounts and larger accounts, and long story short, the one for larger accounts is much higher. And the reason is people don't treat smaller accounts the same. And so that's where the downside comes to in that regard. So if you want to trade smaller accounts, maybe you're a disciplined trader and look at numbers in a very objective way, where it's like, it is what it is. It doesn't matter the size of the account. It matters the process. Then you're good. If not, and you are somebody who looks at it from the standpoint of like, where I can make 500 with just one trade, which is not really the best way to look at it, to be honest, but then maybe that's the angle you want to take it. Okay. Second question that Dean had was, should I aim for 5, 10, or 20% a month? And should I aim for this in a bi-weekly setting or in a monthly setting? First off, let's start off with if we should do bi-weekly or monthly. I would do monthly. Monthly gives you more time to trade and doesn't put as much pressure on you in terms of you finding setups, right? If you do bi-weekly and the first week there are no setups, guess what you're going to be doing in week 2? You're going to be hitting whatever you see and even things that are not there because you're trying to get that profit target before the bi-weekly period is over. Whereas if you have a month, you can really let your trade system play out and do whatever it needs to do to get you to that 20%, 15%, 10%, whatever you're aiming for. The second part is aiming for 5, 10, or 20. This is a question that you should be able to answer if you have a system. If you guys have a robust trading system, you should have the data in front of you that says, on average, every month, this is what you're performing like, how many wins you're getting, how many losses you're taking, what your risk to reward is, and on average, how much percent you're up every month. If you take 12 months and let's say you had 1 month you hit 15, the other month you hit 2, another one you hit 3, 5, whatever, and you divide all those numbers and get the average, you should be able to say, well, on average, every month I'm making 6% or 10% or 4%, whatever the case is. And that should answer itself. So if you guys are treating this system or this trading system like a business and you're collecting your data, you're doing your back testing, you're putting the numbers there, like you're doing what you have to do, this should answer it by itself. All right. So that's basically all that I've got for you guys. Nothing too crazy with these videos, just answering your questions. If you guys like more of these videos, make sure to drop a comment in the comment section below to say that. And also if you have questions, you can drop them there or in the Discord. With that being said, I love you beautiful people. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your trading week. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.